So what was the next video you wanted to show, Doc?
All right. This video talks about how our actions affect our children long term.
Okay, that's important.
Now, keep in mind, in this particular video, it's talking about a son and his mother, but the therapist says dads and moms. So don't sit here and think we trying to bash women and all of that. So we it's spreading around equally, but that's just the subject of this video. So I'm gonna go ahead and share this screen right here. Make sure I'm on the right one. No, that's this one. Let me see what I got here. Yep, that's it. All right, here we go.
I don't have to come around her, so why you need a restraining order?
Because you frightened her.
Does that give her the right to try to manipulate the system?
No, that gives her a right to protect herself.
Yeah, but I'm not a threat.
She felt threatened. No. Your mother was afraid of you because of your inappropriate behavior.
I learned the behavior from her and my dad.
Talk to your mother.
I learned when you get mad to go off and curse people out and throw things and do stuff like that if people are doing you wrong.
How'd you learn that?
I saw you do it to Dad. And I remember one time you threw a knife at him. And it went past my face and went in the door. In Gardena. You remember throwing the knife at Dad?
I remember throwing the knife at the door. If I wanted to hit your dad, I would have hit him. I purposely threw it at the door. And that was 20 years ago.
And he was a child, and he learned violence and inappropriate behavior from you and his father. How does it make you feel to hear your son say you and his father taught him inappropriate expressions of anger? You don't have to justify, rationalize it. 20 years ago, he was 9. Do you understand how frightened and terrified he was?
Mm-hmm.
Do you get that? And he couldn't take out an order of protection against you.
Mm-hmm.
But now you as a grown woman, when he displays what you taught him, you go get an order of protection. Tell him how it makes you feel when you hear him say, you taught me that.
Well,
turn around and put your hands behind your back.
Did I do anything?
Yes. Turn around and put your hands behind your back.
What did I do?
The video I'm still playing in the back. Oh, there you go.
Okay, I got it.
Okay. Man, well, I think that's the story of a lot of people. I think we have all learned a lot of bad traits from our parents and from the generation before us. And we have to try to, I don't know what the word is, heal from that trauma or learn or cope or whatever the word is. But we got a lot, that's why a lot of us need therapy.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
You know what I'll tell you, in terms of children, because I'm gonna frame this in terms of children, because that's what I know best. I've been teaching them for, almost 2 decades, so I know this stuff. And what's sad is that this happens, and I'm gonna frame this in terms of our boys, because you know how I feel about that. I think nobody really cares about our boys. Because there's people out there that have boys and don't advocate for them. They always advocate for the girls.
Yeah.
And they'll put the girls, but the boys here, they can't read. Most boys read on 4th grade level. And that just drives me crazy. But to get back to what I was saying, routinely, you send your kids to school. And I get them. And I teach them the right things to do. And as soon as they get home, you undo all of it. And I know it because they tell me you do it. They say, Doc, what you said is wrong. My mama, my daddy said it's like this. Of course, it's not my job to teach kids. It's not my job to be their parent. But when you telling a child that it's right for them to go out and sell drugs, and not better themselves, you the problem. And you can't sit here like this lady was and wonder what is wrong when killing keep happening around you and all these bad things. And you say, oh, it's these men, it's these boys, it's these children. Nah, it was you, because you the one that started that mess. When people tried to help, when they tried to help and guide them in the right way, your ignorance and the need to be right came through and reversed it, and you destroyed a kid single-handedly. Did it by yourself.
Listen, parents damage their children. Parents damage their children, and some parents do irreparable damage. And that's where it's unfortunate, but it's true. I'm thankful that that young man and his mom are having a chance to have a conversation about it free, and neither one of them locked up and incarcerated. But that could very well be the situation.
But you know, I mean, I'm sorry, man. This one touched a soft spot with me. Touch a sore spot. Because did you notice in that interaction? Now, again, I'm not going to pick on the lady because she said mom and dad, but that was just the one we seen. When the problem was brought forth, her first reaction and the look on her face said, no, I didn't.
Yep.
That didn't happen. So what I want to say to that is that if you have children, you're around children, or children see you, you are a role model whether you want to be or not. It doesn't matter, because they trying to figure out how to handle these situations.
Yep.
And like me and C talked about earlier, while all of our children are getting shot and they keep dying because they don't know how to deal with these situations, because y'all teaching them how to deal with situations with violence and, oh gosh.
It goes deeper, man. Let me tell you, man. Everything in society now, and even when we was growing up, you know, your subconscious mind, man, is powerful than you think. You know, they attack us with the television shows.
Yep.
You know, you remember in the 80s growing up, they try to desensitize you. Growing up in the 80s, we seen a lot of action movies. People getting killed. You're immune to it now. Then they start going to the music. You know what I'm saying? They had a heavy demonic influence in metal and rock. It wasn't reaching the masses, so it found the transition into hip hop. And it gets deep. So we grew up listening to this music. We all listened to this music. You know, growing up, it wasn't as bad as it is now, but it was bad though. You know, first thing, it was always talking about harming us. Us, not anyone else but us. It's always about harming and coming up off of us. And, you know, society has created this, and it has infiltrated into the Black home. You know, the mothers, you know, growing up, they was always calling a woman, you know, the B word or a hoe, you know, in the music. So you growing up thinking, man, I ain't got time for these, you know what, and I'm just gonna play them, you know, this and that. And that's a way, you know, then our fathers during that time, you know, a lot of young parents created kids during that era, and they thinking that's the way to be. So these kids grow up thinking life, you know, thinking this is life, but you created another human life that's going the wrong way, and it's a snowball effect. It's going deeper and it's going deeper. You notice we can talk about each other, about killing each other, doing anything to each other, but let you say something about another community, even, you know, the LGBT, whatever. You talk about those, you're gonna pay.
You're gonna pay.
You know, when the Chinese people started getting attacked,
law right away
for 400 years, and we never had nothing in place, no type of bill or anything. So what I'm just saying is, everything, we got to be vigilant with our kids, how we raise them, and what we let them see, because we are under attack. And a lot of people don't know it. It's like they're feeding you poison with sugar.
Yeah. And, you know, let me tell you a little story. For one of my years of teaching, I was teaching second grade that year. And now second grade, now keep in mind the second grade, you're like 7.
Yep.
You know, the kid asked me, Mr. Hicks, you saw that movie Precious?
7? Wow. Why a 7-year-old know something about Precious?
Man,
Oh
you know,
yeah,
they look
and
at
they
anything.
proceeded to tell me what it was all about.
I never seen it. I heard bad thing. I don't want to see stuff like that.
Mm.
I wouldn't let none of my children watch Precious. I got a 20-year-old. I don't want her to see it.
You know what? I'm gonna tell y'all something else. And I'm gonna tell y'all how parental influence influenced these kids. Same year. You know, I was eating lunch with the kids. I'm always around them. I eat lunch with them. I don't really take breaks. I just hang with them. And the kids say, "You ever been to jail before?" And I said, "No, I ain't never been to jail." Then the one on the other side said, "Yeah, I'm going to jail." "Yeah, me too. My uncle been in jail. Yeah, my mama been in jail. I'm going to jail." And it was not a joke. They thought their whole aspiration at 7 years old was to go to jail. These are kids
That's
that
scary.
never been to the historic district and they live in it. They never been to River Street or to the beach, and we are a beach city, and they never been there.
Man, think
But
about
they
it.
wanted to go to jail.
That's crazy.
So see what I
scary.
mean
That's
about
scary.
But see what I mean about when I try to reverse it? Because I told them, you know what? Don't do that. You know what else you can do instead of going to jail?
Yeah.
You can go see California.
Yep.
Yeah,
can
you giving them
go to
positive
Japan.
reinforcement, and when they go home, it's being wiped out because the family is dysfunction. And like Jay Sims Delane said, we need therapy. We need to learn to accept, you know, we you know, black people we got problems. And like we talked about earlier, man, this thing still's coming down from slavery.
Yeah.
It's still affecting us, and we still are damaged people, you know, here in America. Because if you think about it, and this is another thing too, man, our mindset, we have a westernized mindset. When you talk to other like people from all over the country, the thinking is totally different. It's not as broad as here. It's worldwide thinking, and we have to instill that worldwide thinking. You know, one of the best things that happened to me in my life, man, when I went off to school. And I went to this rich white school, man. It was just a bunch of rich white kids. And I'm, you know, man, I'm poor kid from Savannah up here. And it opened my mind up, though. When I came back home, you know, I no longer seen, you know, I didn't, like, my vision was different. And it's still different from this day. My mentality, all that changed, man, just for me.
And that's what you have to do. You have to change it.
Yeah, you got to diversify your mind. Because your mind is powerful. Like, you know, God didn't bless you with this big brain, man. You got to use it. Like, you got to find key ways to open it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You got to open your mind, man.
And I think, like what you said, you went off to school and you saw something different. I think that's part of the problem is our children, especially our young men, don't ever see anything different. Like with Doc talking about, they ain't seen the other side of the city. So more or less, had a chance to see a world bigger than what, you know, what their parents showed them 1 to 7. If you ain't seen the other side of your own city.
Yeah, think about it. That's true though, what he said. Growing up, I remember the West, you know, I done lived on every side of Savannah.
Right.
When I moved to West Savannah, it was cats that I used to hang around with would not leave West Savannah. They would not go on the east side. They would not do nothing. I like, dang, man, really?
So how you expect to do anything in life? You won't leave one side of your city.
You won't leave.
It's like rats. They run from one hole to the next.
One of my homeboys from New York, he like, man, so many people ain't never left New York.
Yeah.
Never left. Yeah. They burrow. It's like it's cats that are born, lived, died just in Brooklyn.
Yep.
And it's some value in exposing yourself to the other things.
Yes, big value.
My wife and I, you know, I've been putting out videos about this. We know we took a cross country trip.
Yeah.
We got in our car.
And that was dope, Mo. That was dope, man. I like that.
Yeah.
We drove from here to Savannah. We took I-10 from when it started all the way. It said end of road in California, Santa Monica Pier. And we got to show our kids those different things, but every state was different.
Yep.
And when you get out there, it's like, wow, you get to realize that there's stuff out there bigger than you.
There you go.
And how to move within it.
That's a great effect what you did for your kids. I'm sorry to break you off, man, but
No,
I
man,
respect you for that. That's awesome. When I seen that lit me up. I was like, man, that made me want to like, I got to do something. I got to do something.
Man.
Do
I'm
something.
telling you, I got to do something. I got to get them out the house. I got to get them on the road.
Yeah, man.
I got to get them traveling. Because I remember I look back at the pains my mother took to make sure we saw a little bit of something.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm in a better place financially than she ever was, I ought to be able to show my kids something.
Mm-hmm.
And something better and more.
Well, but you know what the problem is? Because the kids can't do it. Well, they can. I show kids how they can visit other places on their computer. Use Google Earth. You can go anywhere in the world you want. I used to take my kids to Rome and Spain on Google Earth. We would sit here in front of the computer, and I said, yeah, this is Spain. Let's go. And you do a street view. You can walk through Spain. You can walk through the Louvre in Paris on Google Earth. You can do that. So I teach kids how to do that for themselves. But what's sad is that our parents, and I'm not even going to blame it on parents being young or whatever, their motivations are not where they should be. Because you know what they care about? I'm going to tell you what they care about. They care about getting having margaritas at the Mexican restaurant. They care about getting fake hair and lashes. They care about buying Jordans and getting Dodge Chargers. So if that's where your value lies, because I say that every person has a currency. Everybody has a currency. What will your currency be? Because you will succumb to something. But make sure you succumb to something that's positive and that you can be bought with something that's positive and improves you and your family.
That's right. And it all goes back to say what we started with this video of what type of example are you setting for your children, from how to act in stressful situations all the way to have I showed them enough so they can make real decisions about where they want to go in life and who they want to be. We all have to make sure as parents, like you say, that we know and we're setting examples, because we are 24/7 role models. One of the reasons I go to work and work so hard, because I don't want my children to see a lazy man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want my son to become one, and I don't want my daughter to marry one.
Yeah.
So one of the things they're gonna know is, my daddy always went to work and made money. So whoever you are, you better go make this money. And whoever I'm gonna be, I gotta go make money. My dad made sure he went to my games. My dad signed me up for this stuff. My dad did that. So they should have a pretty dang on good baseline for what the men in their life should be doing and the kind of man my son wants to become. And I hope it's a better version
of yourself.
Yes.
Of myself. Yeah. I don't want to be just like me. I want to be better than me.
That's the ultimate goal. You want your kids to be better.
Yep.
Because you know what? I'm gonna tell you this with my kids. I do what I'm doing so they can know that it's more out there to do. Yep. Y'all know I'm finishing up a doctorate. Just had a oral defense yesterday, and
good luck on that. Where you want to go?
They saw me do it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get the recording and let them watch it. They're in school now. They see me in school, and they always say, "Okay, Dad, I know you was able to work and go to school, so I can do this." You know what I'm saying? So I showed them how to do it. We had to show them how, because sometimes adults automatically believe that kids should automatically know how to do stuff, and stuff that we feel is common sense, they don't know how to do. Like in this video, knowing how to handle tough situations. I got a set of boys I'm teaching right now how to handle tough situations, because I told them, you know what happens? Because they blow up just like that older gentleman was 29. I got kids that's 11 and 12 years old that handle problems the same way. They sit there and throw a tantrum, blow up, start yelling. And what I'm trying to teach them is that when you do that, all people see is a little black boy being loud and aggressive. And they hear nothing you say.
You know what, too? We got to teach our youngins, especially young black men, how to communicate. I think a lot of that comes from the lack of knowing how to communicate how you feel. Because even with a little kid, a little toddler, you know, they learning how to talk and they can't express themselves. What they do, they throw tantrums.
Yeah,
because they can't
express.
Yep.
So they still throwing tantrums when they
There
get
you go.
old.
They never learn how to express. They ain't never learn how to express.